to be fair. We have 40K.
Hello.
Today.
Today,
So
yesterday,
much to talk
and
about.
tomorrow.
We are ready to rock and or roll. I'm excited about it. Things are happening. And they are doing things. I was wondering what I was hearing. I was like, I forgot to turn off my volume for YouTube. I'm like, I hear things in the past.
Well,
you know what we're starting with today, Scary? We're not starting with 40K. We're starting with Brad's Nerd Talk. You know, because we've got some big things to talk about. But the things
is this a rant? Is this a rant, Brad? Is this one of these things that you're going to just rant and
a little bit
and just say exactly what you mean? Okay, hold on. This. By the way, hello everyone. Welcome to the show. This is the weekly show that we do here on the Art of War, where we talk about things that matter to us in the week and the things that are new that are happening. Of course, every once in a while, we have this old man go off on some rants.
I rant, I tangent a little bit. Sometimes I do stuff.
I'll segue.
I'm going to talk about the fact
Brad.
that I enjoyed the Wheel of Time. Last episode was god awful. I enjoyed The Witcher. The last episode wasn't god awful, but it wasn't very good. I didn't like the last episode. However, as Kelsey put it, I love me some Expanse right now. Woo!
Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
So good. So good. And I did like both those other series. Now, I did not think the last episode ruined the series. However, I just thought they were building up and the crescendo was not, they kind of slipped going up the stairs and fell down a little bit. However, the Expanse is getting hardcore.
Yeah, they're developing these series into a longer series, right? So it doesn't have to be as like poignant as like the first series where it's like dun dun dun. Yeah, so
but I was ready.
I enjoy more.
I had to throw that out
content.
there because that's what I was feeling. I was feeling it. I had to say it to somebody, and I was ready best. The second best Brad. No, you take that back. I have one full number one Brad status. I'm the oldest Brad. I'm the oldest Brad.
I think that counts as being number one.
Yeah. I was born first by a lot, actually. Like a lot.
By a lot. I was born first, therefore I am better than all of you.
Exactly. Blake had talked that we were going to have I think it was New Orleans, because originally all the Brads were going to come. I said we're going to have a Brad Highlander and fight it out forever.
That's what the Joshes do, don't they? There's just giant Josh competition where they find out which Josh is best, and they literally brawl in the middle of a field until there's only one standing or something like that. Like, this is a thing that actually happens. And I just learned about it last year.
So, by the way, I can't give Henry Cavill enough credit. One, loves talking video games. Two, nails Geralt's voice. Three, wants to defeat Spider-Man in a game of 40K with his custodes. And he's getting a new Codex segue in.
Look at that. Not only are you old, but smooth as well.
Smooth as silk, baby.
No, so GW announced you have Jeans to the Occult Codex and Custodes Codex will be up for pre-order this Saturday. That's exciting because I believe that for us competitive 40K players, that will allow them to be used at LVO.
LVO, which is we thought we were going to get no
super
shakeups.
Spicy.
We thought we were going to get no shakeups at all, and then Shake and Bake came in. Two codexes came in that are both.
Well, they've been who knows, having two codexes drop just before an event does mean that they probably won't have an FAQ by the time the event happens.
Okay,
and if there's anybody that's going to find something busted, it's going to be a bunch of competitive players trying to win LVO.
Using all of the loopholes all of the time.
Yep.
And
not in a bad way. For anybody who's watching this from the outside, it's not in a bad way. It's just something that we pride ourselves on in
finding
finding
the
silly
combos
things
that make
Yeah.
absolutely no sense, that do all of the damage, all of the
And then we
damage.
go, and then we make GW scratch their heads when they see it on the table for the first time and go, "How many buggies?" And they're like, "We
Exactly.
didn't intend for this to happen. No, we know you didn't intend for this to happen, but we want to win games."
Now, here's my question to this: what do you think will have more of an impact? Custodes or
Genes to
Custodes?
the Occult.
Same.
100% Genes to the Occult. With the strength of Tyranids right now, I feel like, well, okay, we don't know exactly what they're going to give up by mixing with Genes to the Occult, but if blips are still a thing and stratagems are still really good, combined with some of the cool Tyranid stuff, like we could be seeing. If there's one thing, as a Drukhari player, I know a good Genes to the Occult army has always made it hard for me to play Drukhari because they have so many things that just counter Drukhari specifically.
It's such a big deal on that. I think that they have the opportunity to be a very, very scary army. They were number one for a while at the end of 8th there.
Yep, Muscle Beach.
It worked. So, but the thing is with them, it's going to come down to their strats and their points. You know what I mean? Are the acolytes and things basically anytime? And I think it's very hard to. I think it's very hard to figure out the point cost of low pointed models that have the glass cannon type things. I mean, we saw it where we never knew where they wanted to put the Drukhari. The same thing we get with GSC, where how much is a hybrid cost? How much is an acolyte cost? Are they 4? Are they 7? Are they, you know what I mean? Like, depending on where you put them, they could be overpriced or they can be underpriced, and we take as many as possible of them.
Correct.
So,
well, combine that with some of the game mechanics. You've got speed, objective secured being very powerful to take objectives. Lots of little infantry units to do actions, to do secondaries. So in terms of scoring potential, that can be really high. And then combine that with the ability to do, like, traditionally a multiple small unit style build, which allows you to throw away a lot of your units to achieve a specific goal. And then you have, like, the perfect storm when it comes to building a competitive style list.
Which you've ever watched me play an army, you know that I throw my armies away to try to achieve my goal. Everybody is on the chopping block. Where are we going, Brad? I don't think we're going to survive that counter assault. You'll be fine. Is everybody else backing up? I feel like everybody else is backing up except for us. You guys will be good. It's all part of the master plan. Greater good. See you later. So,
and anyway, so that's going to shake up the meta. In terms of releases, though, Genes to the Occult are getting, I think, one new character that they got in, but who knows? They might be adding in, because of player place terrain, things like fortifications become something that we might even be taking a look at. So does the drill do anything now? The piece of terrain that Genes to the Occult can take? Will it have an impact on the game? I don't know. As for Custodes, I don't see how they could change that list more than it is now, other than tweaking some of the points. They've kind of shown us that you can take Sisters of Silence and kind of mix them in, but we'll probably know in like 2 weeks. The releases will come out on Saturday. We'll have plenty of time to talk about it. People will come up with some cool ideas, but it's really like, how practiced can somebody be going to a 1,000-person tournament?
I think that you're
with it, right?
You'll be able to play the Custodes, I think, easier and better because it's a lower model count army, so you have less chance for mistakes. However, I think you have a much higher upside with GSC, but you also have a way lower floor because you might just completely not be get the synergies and everything else right away.
However, if somebody like, for example, Dustin, who I always rag on about, Dustin has literally been playing Genes to the Occult throughout this whole time. He's like me playing Drukhari throughout the crap times, and then Drukhari's like really good all of a sudden, and then you don't really have to try. You just understand how the army works. So I could see him being the kind of person, or other people who were like very diehard Genes to the Occult, taking it and just rolling with it and just making magic happen.
Figuring out for sure. And I think that's going to be an army that won't have the secret sauce right away. That's just what I think, you know what I mean? Just because there's so many small units that you can put together and figure things out. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, everybody will throw rocks at me because Drukhari's been good for this entire season, but Drukhari's changed about 10 times, and each time they've still been an S tier army. So
That's also because of the way the game plays, but that's a topic for a different conversation. One of our tactics videos that you can find on the Art of War 40k.com, where we discuss a whole bunch of stuff in the war room. No, I'm very excited about that. I'm glad that they're going to make it to LVO. If there's one thing that can shake up the meta, it's 2 new codexes. Because it might not shake up the full meta, but it might have like 1 or 2 specific builds that really tackle the builds that are popular right now, the Orc Goth build.
And also, you're just not going to be ready for them. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be completely ready for an army that has been out for effectively 2 weeks beforehand. I won't get enough reps. I just won't be used to it. Kelsey made a good point on this because GSC is a disruptive army. He goes, wonder if they're going to do well day 1 and people will figure them out day 2 and they won't be as good. That is a real thing that might happen because I think they might actually do super well at LVO. And then you practice with them.
Well, 50%, right? So you go down from 1,000 people or whatever it is to like how many undefeated? 500 undefeated? No, it wouldn't do that. It'd be three cuts. You go down to 100 undefeated at that point? Maybe 80, 500, 250. Yeah, okay. So 120 people undefeated going into day 2. And that's like a GT. At that point, you can kind of look at it and go, okay, well, it's a major. You look at it and go, okay, these are the players, these are the armies that you're seeing. You can see the spreads from it and stuff, especially going into the top 9, though. If you're a Genius of the Occult player or a Custodes player going that far in the event, people will know what you did to get there at that point.
True, but you still you don't have that muscle memory. I played 1 million games into the top armies, and I won't have that into that. So that's always something with that. I mean, that's why I actually think they have a better chance, Matt, into the field, the GSC, because he made the point that anything tech to kill Drakari and GK will probably be fine in a Custodes. I agree with that, because you have smaller model count, you have bigger models, difficult things. So when you're trying to kill your hard to kill things, it will also kill those. That's why I do think the GSC will have more on that. I do like I think the orcs are underrated right now. I've said this a couple times. Orcs have at least 3 archetypes that I think are totally tournament worthy. Just literally taking something like 2 Wasmoon Blastos, 2 Kill Rigs, Defcopters, bikes, and 2 units of unit each of scrap jets and a unit of rocket trucks. That's still all the things that were really, really good already. Yep. And there's multiples. Mark was playing very well with that Goths just beat you in the head. The Army of Renown feels really good. They've got shenanigans that they can do. I actually think that orcs are going to be better off in the long run. I'll dodge my tomatoes as I say this, but I think the Army...
I don't think there's many tomatoes. I agree with you.
It plays the mission better than it did before. It doesn't just go, did I kill you right now? Oh, I didn't? I guess I lose. You don't get the same chance to high roll people, but you get to play a chance to play the whole game.
At least until we also see some of the point changes. Yes. You know what I mean? Like that I think will be one of the biggest factors. That's not in the release schedule as of yet. They've kind of teased it. That's another thing in terms of moving on to like one of the next big things that were released. We're going to have seasons now. Yes. Like 40K is going to be divided into 40K seasons. And apparently this is ambitious. To be honest, like when you talk about Games Workshop, ambitious to say we're going to get a new season every 6 months. I don't know about you, but that sounds really ambitious to me. It's amazing. I like it. As long as the missions are different and missions have like special rules, like we've seen the teasers of the missions at the open, the invitational that they did at Games Workshop. The secondaries are changing for the Necromunda data, or the Necromunda Rift, or whatever they're going to call this new season. But if they're doing balance updates every 3 months, which means halfway through a season they'll do a balance update. When they release a season, they'll do a balance up. You know what I mean? Like it seems like that's what they're aiming for, or would make sense. They do like a balance update when a season drops. Halfway through the season, they do a balance update, and then when the new season drops, they do a balance update. Right? So that's kind of cool.
I'm super excited for this to happen because I feel that you can be less heavy-handed when you're touching it more. You know what I mean? And you have more opportunities to miss small, and I'd rather have you miss small than over nerf or not touch it forever.
100%.
It's such a big deal on that.
Yeah, small tweaks over, like more often, smaller tweaks, right? I think that's definitely a better way to try and balance a competitive game.
For chat here, I have not read Blink, and I would love to have that. I need to know what it is. We will definitely be covering in depth both codexes when they drop, both custodes and GSC for sure.
It'll be super fun. It's an early morning for me that day. Definitely.
It's good times. Speaking of things that are coming out, my friend, I don't know if you know, but there's a little thing called Plastic Guardians that have come
out. My goodness. Not that we didn't have Plastic Guardians before.
Well, we got new.
They're new ones.
I really wanted to get my new stuffs ready. There we go. I'm even playing the little intro for Guardian Defenders.
Ooh, nice. I will say though that the Eldar range is one of the oldest ranges in the Games Workshop for Warhammer 40,000 range arsenal. However, it's still one of the ones that some of the models still hold up quite nicely. But I'm not gonna lie, the Falcon, the Wave Serpent, still iconic. You know what I mean?
The problem is we have too many static poses for unbelievably dynamic characters in the aspect.
That's the 80s. That's the pewter. Look at me, I'm holding in two arms, and this is my pose because this is the only way the mold will work.
Yeah, it's just it was back in the days. You're like, what is this guy doing? These guys are known to be doing triple backflips while they're swinging a sword. How is he posed? I just standing there. I don't know about that, guys. Are they? Did we confirm that they're on 28s? Because that's what I heard from a million people. But
I wouldn't be surprised. They kept Cabalites on 25s, right?
Yeah,
they kept Cabalites on 25s.
Witches are on 25s.
They moved Incubi to 28s. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe all the Aspect Warriors go to 28s and they keep Guardians. But because it's a brand new kit that they're boxing brand new, I wouldn't be surprised if they're putting them all on 28s because they're just they're just making everybody buy new bases.
That is the quote of the day. I will give you props if somebody can beat that funniness on that. The Eldar range saw the fall of the USSR.
That is very true. That is not a lie.
But
when the Berlin Wall went down,
the Eldar were there. Asmer was like, "Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on?" The little avatar of death is like, "I'm angry and tiny."
God, that is fantastic.
Although they did tease the new avatar model, that picture of the bloody hand,
and the flaming sword in the other,
and then Morgan Ra, which does mean that they probably have all of the plastic Aspect Warriors,
Phoenix Lords.
the Phoenix Lords, the Avatar. It's gonna be Eldar players are so gonna be so pleased. We literally we're so passionate about our faction.
I'm so excited to get all the new stuff. And the thing is I wanted to get stuff painted up. I talked with Mr. Snikowski. We've been spending some real time in getting me some pretty stuff. So I was going with less
pretty stuff.
Nice. Well, I got shamed. It was funny because I said, this is a good story. I said, I was talking to Mr. Sean Naden about it. I said I was going to spend some money with Jason Sniggs, and get some stuff painted to his best level, get some pretty stuff done. But I'm like, I don't know what to do, this and that. And he looks at it and he just goes, "Hey man, haven't you played Eldar in every edition for the last 20 some years?" He goes, "Get your Eldar done by him. It's not exactly a big risk." You're like, you got 20 plus years into Eldar, you'll probably play them again. Don't be an idiot. I'm like, and I wanted to get some more stuff started, but I want to get some of these new dynamic posed guys.
Well, they released the Guardians, and they previewed the Storm Guardians, the guys with the swords and the chain swords and stuff like that, the Meltaguns, with a new sort of support weapon platform that's gonna be a defensive weapon platform, which I thought was really cool.
Yes. The thing is with them, I just think, and I think they did a good job about it with a lot of the new Drakari, the molds that they did, the new sculpts, in making them look...
Well, they were 2010 though. They're actually starting to show their age.
Yeah.
That was 13 years to 12 years ago now that the Drakari range was technically redone.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I remember because I was going through White Dwarfs the other day, and I was like, "That's how long ago it was that I got my Cabalite Warriors." I was looking at my old Raider. That Raider is 12 years old.
That is true.
But
I just want some
yeah,
guys that look like the thing on that. I guess I don't know. It's funny because the older I get, the more I want more hobby stuff. I think I'm getting older and slower. I want cooler looking stuff on the table, and I really, really like, and I appreciate other people's stuff. And I actually, I want to see somebody do up a converted GSC army because I think there's a lot of
Genestealer Cult
Genestealer Cult. Sorry, yeah,
converted as what though?
just the different. There's so many options the way that you can convert them because all of those guys are in some state of turning into a Genestealer. Basically, the hybrids and
the
everything.
different generations.
Yeah, there's different because those are like all from they infiltrated the hive worlds and they basically have got huge amounts of people depending on how long and everything else you're strained. You look different, and I'd love to see somebody do just you could just do different conversions based on that. And just
well, they work so hard they would be strained.
Yeah.
Well,
dad jokes.
To be honest, have you ever seen some of those count as armies? Like I remember there's this guy in Canada called Ricky Johnson. And
Ricky Johnson.
Ricky, right? And one of the coolest armies he ever made was back in the day when Turvagon spam was a thing, where you could just like summon little gaunts for free. A million of them. It was like 3d6 gaunts per Turvagon for free every turn until you rolled like doubles or triples or something. And it was like it was gaunt carpet is what it was called. You folks think Drukhari Thick City is bad or Railguns are bad. Like you try play against 300 free models or like Summon City when you had like a Farseer summon a bunch of random demons. Don't even get me started. That's a rant in and of its own. But it was basically all done with zombies and ogres from like Warhammer Fantasy. And it was basically like a zombie Turvagon farm. So he had like, corpse cart like trucks converted from Turvagons that were like literally like guys shoveling bodies out of a back truck to be the Turvagons. And then like zoanthropes were they were like ogres but with big brains and stuff. Anyway, you just got me into this whole conversions are cool, and as you get older, you appreciate the hobby stuff.
That's the thing is I do, but I think that it's a big deal. You have good terrain, and I don't know what everybody thinks about this, but like I have so much better of it, and I want to give the guys over at Death or Glory. They've done a great job in my area at bringing amazing terrain to a ton of tables. They have over 100 and some tables now.
Nice. That's
and they're
fantastic.
all done. They're painted up. They look great, and the game feels so much better
on good terrain.
Yeah,
heck yes. It's just on painted terrain. It's nice to see events and tournament organizers taking the terrain aspect of the game more seriously than they ever have. Like before, terrain was a bit of an afterthought, especially in that transition from like 3rd to like 5th edition.
Well,
in those 3 different editions.
You used to play flat nothings that just said what they are.
Correct. Right. Because they were levels or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. And that did not translate well into the age of true line of sight.
Yeah.
And that really shook up the meta just in general.
If you guys aren't playing Necromunda, I'm telling you right now, that's a fun game. Right now. Whew. Love me some.
You enjoying it?
I love that. I've been playing Necromunda off and on for forever, basically. As soon as it probably 20 years. As long as Necromunda's been out, I've been dabbing in and out of it. We used to run leagues and stuff with it, with your bike, your gang. And nice. I think that I just love the idea. I love a lot of 40K lore because of the fact that it's so expansive. You can have, like we talked about this before, but you can have everything down from like one Inquisitor wandering around doing like these small, things that he's getting involved in, to world galaxy-wide conflicts, to interplanetary, to, your city gang kind of thing. There's so many things you can do. And that's again why I'm still very excited about Warhammer Plus, you know what I mean, with that and stuff like that, because I think that you have opportunities. You're going to miss sometimes, but there's just, as long as we're putting stuff out and we have options of doing stuff, there's so many places to go. You know what I mean?
Talking about Inquisitors, though, the Games Workshop previewed their store anniversary exclusive miniatures.
Oh,
I think it was today, where there was an Inquisitor, an Ordo Malleus Inquisitor.
I did not see this. I have to go see. Oh, there
Yeah,
it is. How did I not show this?
And an orc from the Swamp Orcs for Age of Sigmar.
There he is.
And I will say that Inquisitor stabbing a book and having the little that little demon
Blade
like escape.
Yeah,
book, it's amazing. It looks really cool, very iconic.
There we go. I pulled it up. I like this. I did not. How did I miss this?
Or whatever. I don't know. Where have you been, Brad?
I do love the bird on him.
Yeah, no, it's cool, right? That's right. And I love the iconography. He's got like the skull like strapped to the back of his. The Inquisitor has the skull strapped to the back of his like Inquisition sign. It's like classic Ordo Malleus style Inquisitor, but new. And then of course the Swamp Orcs, which I play AOS, and I haven't played too much of the Swamp Orcs, but hopefully he's cool. I would have no frame of reference for that one.
And this is when you know that your friendly neighborhood Inquisitor is always happy to see you when he has Exterminatus on his sword.
On his sword, exactly. That's one of the first things I read. I was like, Exterminatus. Oh yeah, he's a great fun guy.
He's the guy you want to come over to the house. He's probably a load of fun to have. Hey, we shouldn't have probably.
He's just twitching. He's just twitching in the corner, like with the big red button, like on his. You're like, is it time to exterminate us now? And you're like, no, it's okay, Uncle
I feel
Fred.
that there's heresy here. Like, you're like, no, there's just turkey. We're just having Thanksgiving dinner. Heresy. You're like, he's waiting to see if the meat's dry or not. Exactly. Am I blowing up the planet, or is this going to be a good meal?
Oh, there's not enough cranberry sauce. Anyway. But that's another cool model, like in terms of 40K today, 40K and or AOS. And it's really neat. And then recently they re-released the Black Templars / Dark Eldar box set as like a limited release, which was really cool. A lot of people online saying that's the Scary special because that's literally both my armies in one. And that's the box I started with.
I would definitely put that label on there. I'm going to talk to somebody when you get one. It's just going to say the Scary special around it.
Scary special. I feel like they missed out by not putting the little green jungle trees and the little barrels or whatever that came with it. The barrels, the jungle trees, and the little ruin. And then it would be perfect.
Did I tell you I got my year away a Bellacor I finally got?
Oh, really? Nice.
I ordered a Bellacor when they first came out, and they were out of stock instantly, of course. And I haphazardly checked in because during the worst of the COVID years, all it literally said was, "Yeah, you bought a model. Good to hear. You'll get it.
Good luck."
And I kind of forgot about it, but it never sent. And I finally got a hold of one of the guys, and I was like, "Hey, I ordered a model a million years ago. It feels like, and nothing ever sent." And he's like, "Oh man, this." I talked to him. He goes, "It effectively got stuck in the system and just never shipped to you." So as soon as that happened, I just like a few days later, bam, I got my model. But I had completely forgot about it because it had been so long. And I'm like, oh, look, Bellacor. Cool.
Nice. Well, that's good. It's nice that 40K today, Brad is now playing Chaos Demons.
That was a gift, actually. I gave my buddy a gift of Bellacor, and I was like, I ordered it. Whatever it's going to show up, it'll show up. And then I forgot about it. So I basically gave it to him a year later, basically, almost a year. It's 10 months. And I'm like, here's your birthday gift. He's like, what? And my birthday's in 2 months. So he's like, yeah, last year. There you go.
Nice.
You're welcome.
I love it.
I should have waited again, just gave it to him again. I keep giving you the same gift, but you never gave me the first one. Shh. It's okay.
This counts as both now.
Exactly.
Silence, my child. Exterminatus time. Bloop.
Wait, that's the funny thing. I did actually ask them. That's how it got resolved. Is I called one of the guys from the GW event, and he called whoever, and they instantly sent me my thing out because it had been sitting there apparently for a while in the system of, yes, he should get this. Sense. Exactly. Here's your Secret Santa gift, circa 2020. So, but I'm super psyched up for this year's meta. I said that to Adam when we were talking about it Monday, but I want to go more in depth with it because I think this is going to be a crazy year. I actually think it's brilliant to bring out the IP of the Eldar trying to continually get in the way of chaos using the Farseer puppet strings kind of way of kind of having other races fight for you half the time too.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of that. I love the fact that we're getting all of the chaos. We're getting the demons. We're getting the CSM. You know what I mean? We're getting so much stuff. We're going to get, I don't know if we're getting 1 or 2 campaign books this year. I'm assuming we'll get at least.
Well, they did say each season was going to have
a campaign,
a book, a campaign. Like it seems like they're going to just do that. So there's like, then again, it seems like it's starting to do one of these crazy ramp ups that they do, like end of 8th edition, where they're like, here are all the toys.
Yeah. Like you got 2 codex over the last 6 months, and how about 1 every week? T-shirt gutting about.
Yeah. Like good luck catching up.
But I mean, you just have so many people. I mean, like that's the first army I played was Chaos. I got in because I read the Horus Heresy and got into the game. And I think there's a lot of Chaos fans that are. And then my second army was Eldar, which I played forever after that. So I love the storyline, the IP of that. And I think that you're going to see, like I said, I do think it's good when Chaos is good because there's so many different ways you can play Chaos. So it just adds to the tournament scene.
Talk about Chaos models. Sorry to interrupt. Have you seen the models that Dave from Mini Wargaming got like made?
Yes.
The Void Scarred. They look so cool. I got myself. Yes. He sent me a little one that I'm gonna paint. It's like the female warrior with the chainsword style thing and the bolt pistol. Looks so cool.
There's just so much.
Very
options.
chaosy.
I also like it when Chaos is good because of the fact that I'm a big fan of conversions. Ooh, props to my wife, by the way. I've been wearing these. My wife, for Christmas, got me colorblind glasses. Thank you very much. And I've been wearing them, the crap out of them. And I've seen things I've never seen before. Thank you very much. I walked.
Well, that's amazing.
I walked into Sniggs' house just yesterday, and we were playing. And I looked at the where all the models are on. He's got huge, display things, and I go, "You're a lot better at painting than I originally thought." He's like, "What?" I go, "I can see a lot more of these colors and stuff with these glasses on, so I can see a lot of your shading more." He's like, "Thanks." So you're basically just lying before? I'm like, "Yeah, I could really see. I just assumed it was good."
That's awesome. I can't even imagine how that feels.
It was super cool. I'm not gonna lie. They makes everything a little bit crisper, brighter, and everything else. Because I let everybody look through them, and they were like, everything looks a little bit clear, like more vibrant. Like I can see a lot more things, so it's pretty awesome. So good gift from her. She's been talking about it for a while, and I really like them a lot. So I'm excited. Nice. I'm excited for that, and that makes me excited for the new stuff that's coming out for Chaos and Eldar because we'll get all those kind of new armies.
Well, the new box set, right? You've got a Hellbrute, not a Hellbrute, a Molder Fiend thingy. Then you have or a Forge Fiend. You've got the Warpsmith. You got the new Possessed. Which, okay, granted, like it's cool and all, but you have to make chosen something that you would want to take in the first place.
Correct.
They look cool, so don't get me wrong. A lot of Chaos
I did wish that they had. I
cool.
hope that the sprues themselves. We saw the models, but I hope the sprues actually have a crap ton of options, though. I would love to see them just have tons of things they can put on.
It might be one of those things where they have like each thing as a different thing, and then you get the Codex, and it's like you get one option for each thing to match. Like the Death Corpse of Krieg set, you can take like Death Corpse of Krieg or whatever, and they've got like a whole bunch of different things. I wouldn't be surprised if a unit entry is like you can give them one of each, so you can buy this box set and have the squad ready to go.
I did. I didn't. This is a funny thing of this, as far as me saying about the colorblind stuff. I didn't know I couldn't see all the colors into my 20s. I found this out. I can't even remember how I actually found out. And then I go talk to my family, and I'm like, "Hey, man, like, I've been wearing like apparently blues and blacks for like my whole life, and I can't see this, this, and this." And they're like, "Yeah, everybody knows." Like, I didn't know. Like, we just thought you did. I was like, so you just thought I was just okay with like just wearing clothes that didn't match? They're like, "Yeah, nobody really cared." It's just like, go do your thing. We like the fact that you look silly. Go for it. It's like, damn it. I need a new family.
Family. Good fun. We got to spend lots of time with them during the holidays. No, it's then the Eldar side. What about those Ranger bikers? Like those Ranger bikers look pretty cool with scatter lasers,
really
two
cool.
riders
with
like,
the rifle. He's got the rifle on him too. He's got the scatter lasers, and the top guy has the rifle.
That seems pretty cool. Like for like a sniper spotter.
I'm very looking at those. I have not seen them. I'm assuming because they've been talked about it forever about Phoenix Lords and everything else. We're gonna get the new Phoenix Lord sculpts, and I'm assuming hope that we're getting the new Aspect Warrior sculpts, and I'm very excited about both of those, and that's why I haven't got some of those other. I am really excited to see very cool Phoenix Lords and Aspect Warriors. I want to run that type of list.
If Drazar is anything to go by.
Yes, exactly.
And Jane'Zar. Drazar and Jane'Zar. If those sculpts are anything to go by, you can just imagine the size and the scope and the dynamic pose of like all of these new characters. And I think it's going to be phenomenal.
I just think it's going to be super cool to have, and they're going to juice those guys up. They have to juice them guys up.
Hopefully.
Well, I mean, you just talk about the sculpt of Drazar, but the stats of Drazar, if we get Phoenix Lords that are Drazar-esque.
Yeah, you see Drazar all the time, but do you really see Jane'Zar other than like Sean Naden running her?
No, I'm saying
a succubus.
But I'm saying yeah, exactly. He's running Drazar as Jane'Zar. Sean's been losing his mind with that when he takes like $300 models and makes all of them into a conglomeration of one model to make something. I love it. It looks amazing. However, it's also made of money. So I love everything about that. But yeah, I'm talking about just the stats on Drazar. So if we get new Phoenix Lord and they all have Drazar-esque, it would be fantastic to take them. You know what I mean? They're just not worth it. Right
I wonder
now.
if they'll get involves. You know what I mean? Like that'd be good if they did.
No, I refuse to accept that they won't get invulns. That's just not a thing. In the world of 40K right now, not having an invuln is signing your own death warrant, especially if you're a character that has to scrum it up. You're like, random Billy has a storm shield. He's like, I have a 4-up invuln. Then you go, hey.
I'm a Vanguard veteran with a lightning claw. Yeah. Who are you? I'm the killer of worlds.
Yeah, and you're dead. You are a guy that wore a big hat.
I'm a white scar now. I'm 10 times better than you, 200-point character.
You know, Magan Ra does need to have his sculpted pulling his craft out of the chains. I mean, he literally surfboarded Altanzar out of the Eye of Terror. I mean, that's
and he possible. And like one squad of Dark Reapers killed an entire Tyranid invasion.
Yeah,
well, or something like that.
Well, everybody else died. They just survived.
Sure. But
he's another one of the guys again. Like just like the Solitaire, when Magan Ra shows up, you're like, oh man,
no. Like, we're in for it. Now.
I just painted the house.
Well, so much for me perfecting my mom's cake recipe. Where's my shuriken catapult? Let's go.
I can't tell a lie, guys. I did play Wind Rider Scatter Laser Spam when it was a thing, because
you playing a medalist?
I know it's hard to imagine.
Goodness
also,
gracious.
But that had all of the things. Ready? I was bandwagoning it, playing a medalist, and also you got to roll a giant heap of dice, which
and
always
this was
makes
before
me happy.
Chess blocks too.
Yes,
which meant you could take all the time you wanted to just roll.
I loved rolling a million dice. It makes me very happy. I don't know what I would so much rather roll a million scatter laser dice than a couple multi-melta dice. It makes me so much happier.
It's like, and everybody's freaking out about this. Okay, new release, the Railgun. Okay, they posted the Railgun stats, which I think are kind of silly, right? But then you look at it and go, it's a one-shot gun, and anything that's a one-shot gun, it could be the perfect gun in the world.
You can always roll that one, baby.
You'll roll a 1 to hit or a 1 to wound, or like it's one failure point, and then it does nothing.
It's a real big gun on a tank.
A super big gun on a tank.
Yes, exactly.
100%.
It is the tank Vindicare, which is why the Vindicare is my least favorite assassin.
Correct.
Like, laughably, there's 3 assassins, and then the Vindicare doesn't get invited to the assassin party.
Nope.
He's not even showing up.
Nope.
Yes. Warp Spider spam was when for whatever unknown reason. But the best part about that, by the way, it wasn't a big deal if you only jumped once. When you targeted, it was when they had the original before they FAQ'd it.
It was the stacking minuses to hit too, because you had conceal, which was a bubble of minus to hit, right? Back before they FAQ changed it, literally a bubble of -1 to hit. And then they had the -1 to be hit when they flickered or whatever, or they were late talk. So it's like -3 to hit these guys. And there were 60 of them on the table, or more than 60.
They jumped every time that you shot them for a while.
And then you kill one unit, and then they all shot at you, or moved, or silly Inari Rules.
That was the Inari Rules, baby. don't bring that up. Everybody will immediately want us to price them out. We're still paying for those woes.
The Eldar is still paying for the sins of the Inari.
Exactly. The long strike thing is kind of a big deal. The long strike, the fact that he's going to do long strike shenanigans with crisis suit bodyguards, basically, supposedly.
Oh, I guess that would make sense. Yeah, if you have to go punch long strike, then you good luck. Good luck.
I'll be on it. Spiders with avoid grenades, yes. I love everything about the old part of the game. Blood guns and everything else.
Now we're talking about 40K yesterday. Talk about games of yesteryear. I've been playing the Warhammer Armies project, which is Warhammer Fantasy 7th and 8th edition combined. This guy's been basically making a fan rule set for it, but taking all the good stuff from both editions, and it is phenomenal.
I love that.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it was really, really good.
Wheel, baby. Wheel.
Yeah. Little it's so refreshing to go back and be like, you have 100 points to spend on magical equipment for your lord or whatever. Oh, the good old days.
And also, you could play a game instantaneously because you had a movement tray. 1,000 points of an army is in this movement tray right here.
Yeah, and I move it. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. What do you think about? What do you think the meta is going to look like after? Oh, here, I'm going to give you this. GSC custodes are out, obviously. Tau's going to be out. Points changes are going to be out. New missions are going to be out. We'll stop there. How do you feel about the meta right there?
Well, I think it's really going to come down to what they do with the point/balance update 3 months after this balance update. I think that'll really give us a better understanding because we'll probably have a Genesteal Cult Custodes FAQ. If anything, I think MSU is still going to be the way to go. The game is so killy, you need to be able to trade well with your opponents.
Great.
And the way that the secondaries are shaking up, with Rod being different. I've been playing the new missions quite a lot, practicing the new missions and new secondaries.
So much different.
And there's such a in order to do something like teleport homers and things like that, fast moving troop units in transports or that can outflank, I think we're going to start seeing people potentially take more troop, not just for OBSEC, but for doing secondaries more reliably and cheaply. And I think that's going to have a big impact on what armies look like moving forward, to be honest, with specific troops becoming more about doing the missions, right? And the objectives and stuff, and therefore people relying on them more, and then having more dedicated trade pieces that go around murdering
having
stuff.
Different styles of the same armies just because of the missions. I could see that a lot.
Yeah. So is it going to change how the big guys we've got Thick City and we've got the Orc Goth Killer Rig lists of Doom and things like that. I don't think it's going to change the top end. I think fundamentally that's going to have to come down to, but we'll see. It could come down to Custodes just being beating everybody, or it could just be Genesteal Cult murders every Drukhari list in existence or something,
Also true.
But, who knows?
So I like it on that. Tell me how I should live my week.
Live your week having some fun. Make sure everybody out there, if you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel, like it. Leave us a comment down below.
Yes,
We're doing a lot more content here. We're revamping the 40K Today website soon. So there'll be a whole bunch of really cool stuff on the website. So make sure you stay tuned for that. To all the War Room members, we couldn't do any of this without all of you, the War Room. So thank you so much, everybody, for the ongoing support of the Art of War 40K. And don't forget, Brad's actually doing a whole series on his road to the LVO and what we do to prepare as top players and things. So make sure you stay tuned for that, because that's a cool series.
It's my favorite
it's really
thing
exciting.
I've been doing too.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see, how top players like us, right? Because we're just more obsessed than any of you. Can prepare, and we still get nervous, and we still do matchup pairings and practice, and we still like go through a process to get ready for a big event. So if you're curious about that stuff, that's how you should live your life. Make sure that you follow that series.
Thank you, and thank you more. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, talking about nonsense, and I'll have more nonsense next week.
Bye.